Okay. And television signal, for television signals, bandwidth requires 6 megahertz for TV signals. And for digital data transmission, many digital data transmission utilize telephone channels. The bandwidth of the telephone is an appropriate consideration. The faster the rate of the data transmission, the greater the bandwidth required. If your speed of transmission is high, the bandwidth also is high. The telephone channel occupies the frequency range from 300 hertz to 3400 hertz. That is for telephone frequency range. Okay. When data is sent over telephone channels, the speed must be limited to ensure that the bandwidth required by the data transmission will not exceed the telephone channel bandwidth. Whatever the speed we are using with the telephone channels should not exceed the whatever the bandwidth we have used for the transmission of data. Okay. And the data rates of common system are limited to the maximum rate up to 10,800 bits per second bps, you can tell, for telephone channels. This is the maximum range or maximum rate of transmission we can use for telephone communication channels. Okay. And next we have noise. That is, what is noise? With reference to the electrical signal, noise may be defined as any unwanted form of energy which tends to interfere with the proper reception or reproduction of wanted signal. If I am generating any wanted signal, in between unwanted form of energy or unwanted signals are included, then it is called as noise. Noise is random, undesirable electrical signal that enters the communication system via the communicating media and interferes with transmitted message. However, some noise is also produced in the receiver only. With by using the devices also you may get a problem, you may get a noise, or by using the uh, external transmission method also you may get a noise. Here classification noise you can see. Noise may be put into following two categories, that is external noise and internal noise. External noise, that is noise whose source are externals. Okay, you from externally you have got the some noise included into your signal, then it will become external noise. External noise may be classified into following three types, that is atmospheric noise, extra terrestrial noise, man-made noises, or industrial noises. If I am going for internal noise in the communication, noise which get generated within the receiver or communication system, that is called as internal noise. Internal noise may be put into the following four categories, that is thermal or white noise or Johnson noise, short noise, and transit time noise, and miscellaneous internal noise. In external noise cannot be reduced except by changing the location of the receiver or the entire system. See, if it is externally affecting the system, then you can change the place. You can change the place where the external noise is less. There only you can start generate your signal and you can transmit your signal. Internal noise can, on the other hand, can be easily evaluated mathematically and can be reduced to great extent by the proper design. At the time of design only you can change the devices, or you can reduce the thermal noise, you can reduce the white noise, you can reduce the short noise by mathematically calculating it and designing the proper way. Okay, as already said, because of the fact that internal noise can be reduced both to the great extent, study of noise characteristics is very important part of the communication engineering. Atmospheric noise or static is caused by lighting discharges in thunderstorms and other natural electrical disturbances occurring in the atmosphere. See, when the rainy seasons are there, thunderstorms will be occurring that will affect the external signals which are present in the atmosphere. That is a not natural electrical disturbance which can occur in the atmosphere. These electrical impulses are random in nature, hence the energy is spread over the complete frequency spectrum or used for radio communication. This random nature signal is there, no? That will be spread over the full complete frequency spectrum used for radio communication. For that reason, whole spectrum will not be used at that time. And atmospheric noise accordingly consists of spurious radio signals which with components spread over a wide frequency range. For that reason, normally whenever the thunderstorm rainy seasons are there, at that time you can't properly receive the television signals or radio signals. That is the problem. For that reason, atmospheric signals will be noise signals are more inside your proper information signal. That's why you can't receive the signal. The spurious radio waves consisting the noise get propagated over the earth in the same fashion as the desired radio waves of the same frequency. Accordingly, at a given receiving point, the receiving antenna picks up not only the signal but also the static form of the thunderstorm, local or remote area. The field strength of atmospheric noise varies approximately increasingly with inversely with the frequency. And thus a large atmospheric noise is generated in low and medium frequency bands, while very little noise is generated in the very high frequency and ultra high frequency bands. Okay, see, as we have seen the noise inclusion towards the bands will be with respect to the inverse of frequency. That's why if the frequency is high, then the intrusion of the noise inside those type of the signals will be less. That's why very high and ultra high frequency bands will be having the highest frequency. That's why inverse of that frequency will be very low amount. That's why you will be having very less amount of noise in those type of frequency bands. Further, VHF and UHF components of noise are limited to the line of sight, less than that of 80 kilometer propagation. For those two reasons, the atmospheric noise become less severe at frequency exceeding above the 30 megahertz. Extraterrestrial noise. These are numerous type of extraterrestrial noise or space noises depending on their sources. However, these may be put into following two subgroups, that is solar noise or cosmic noise. With solar, this is the electrical noise emanating from the sun. That is under quiet conditions. There is a study radiation of noise from the sun. This results because sun is a large body at a very high temperature and radiates electrical energy in the form of noise over a very wide frequency spectrum, including the spectrum used for the your radio communication also, which the thermal energy of your sun exceeding 6,000 degrees Celsius on the surface. For that reason, whatever the high temperature will be radiating the signals, that will be having the wide range of spectrum where it includes the radio communication also. And the intensity produced by the sun varies with time. In fact, the sun has a repeating 11-year noise cycle. Sun will be having 11-year noise cycle. With respect to that, the intensity of the noise will also vary. During the peak of the cycle, The sun produces some amount of noise that causes tremendous radio signal interference, making many frequencies unusable for communication. Whenever it is in the peak of the cycle, 11-year noise cycle is there, no? Whenever it reaches to the peak, at that time you won't be able to use any of the radio frequencies. Radio signal interference will be very high. That's why we can't use those frequencies at that time. During other years, the noise is in the minimal level.